Hello everybody to this special episode of the Nisekoi volume reviews.
Oh yeah.
I haven't been able to say that in a while, and I'm sort of sad because this will actually be the final time that we say it, right?
Okay.
As you know, last Thursday on the channel, we had the final episode of Nisekoi volume reviews come out, the volume 25 wrap up and all of that,
Oh,
right?
really? We're already done?
What?
Your uploads are done?
No, okay. We're recording this in the future, right?
Yeah.
That hasn't come out yet. It's not come out for another 2 weeks because we're ahead right now.
We're recording in the past.
Exactly. Yes, something like that. Pretty much, it has been a month since we have filmed that final review.
Okay.
Right? It's actually been a month and 1 day. So, being that, in my opinion, I think that as we read a series or we experience something, after time has passed, it sort of dwells on us more, right? And we have time to think about a series, and in this case, it's Nisekoi. Sort of think about it. We get to experience other mediums, sort of get an opinion based on that, right? And pretty much, I wanted to ask Jaden here the main question of how does he think Nisekoi is held up for him after having finished it for a month?
Yeah.
Right? Because of course I have finished it, and it's been about 2 years since I first finished the series, and I still hold a very high opinion of it. Right? So I just want to know if Jaden is the same or if his opinion has like very much differed on it since then. If he's just at first he was like, oh fuck this series, and now he's more of like, slightly fuck this series, right?
I would say that yeah, that's about how it is.
Right, so I'll just let you talk away, Jane.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Nisekoi after a month?
It has grown on me quite a lot, and I think that the premise is good, and the characters, I think that I originally did not like the character writing of much of many characters, but it's grown on me a lot.
And can you sort of see why I would often say that while Yui's a problematic character, her writing is good?
I still don't like Yui.
I don't like her either,
Yeah.
but I think that still, like, the message that her character is trying to get across is there. It may be, in my opinion, very problematic, but
Okay. So
gets that point across.
I'm going to get into spoilers for the quintessential quintuplets.
That's just another harem series
Yeah.
that...
I think, so this is a harem series that I read before, and I recently just finished. I finally watched the movie, and it honestly...
And you've also reread it.
Yeah, the value has depreciated on me, honestly. Like, honestly, it's going down quite a lot.
Is this because just you're rereading it and seeing it, or rereading it after Nisekoi?
I think rereading it again, just in general, and after seeing Nisekoi, because here's the thing. Love is War has an amazing main character. Nisekoi has a very good main character.
Yeah.
I think he is very well written.
Raku has a personality and character defining moments.
The main character of quintessential quintuplets is garbage.
Is a stand-in.
And what sucks is that he has two personality traits. He's a dunce, and he studies all the time. He's very dense. I meant to say dense, not dunce. He's dense, and he studies all the time. Basically, he's just this genius who gives no craps about the girls at all throughout the series. And at the very end, he's like, I like all of you guys, and I'm gonna confess my love. After, zero development. He's had, like, all the girls have had development around him, but he's had none himself.
Well, Raku, he is a character that... This is the big thing while Nisekoi succeeded, right? Raku has his own story. He's not a stand-in for all of us boys reading and be like, oh man, Segumi's breast just touched him.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's me, right?
Yeah.
Raku is his own character. He's not a stand-in like me, our characters. He's got multiple character traits to him, right? Well, some of them may not be totally recognizable, right? Like, he's the animal care, right? And there's a story wrapped around him. Like, is there a story wrapped that ties all these characters together in quintessential quintuplets?
Not
Or is
really.
it sort of just like he appears one day and that's that?
Well, he's there because he's hired to be their tutor. And that's the whole thing.
Because that's sort of the same thing as We Never Learn, right? Yuega is not hired to be tutor, but to get a special school recommendation, he has to teach these girls, right? Big plot point later on, I'm sort of going to spoil it here, but he gives up this recommendation, because he doesn't want it anymore, right? But he still continues to teach the girls because that's what he thinks is right. Would you say that, like, a character, like the main character of quintessential quintuplets would do something like that?
I mean...
Or is it sort of like, if he's not getting paid, no point?
Futaro has moments, and at some point he does care for the girls, and at some point he does, like, he's not getting paid anymore, and he still works for them because he wants to see them succeed. But it's just that the romance aspect I feel is missing for the entire first 2 acts and doesn't even show up until the third. Whereas I think in Nisekoi, Raku begins developing feelings for Chitoge around the middle, but he's also had feelings for Onodera.
Exactly. He's had feelings for Onodera the entire time.
And
eventually, we know Onodera's had feelings for him. Then around chapter 50, Chitoge realizes that she has feelings. Then over time, it sort of builds up to where Raku has had these feelings, but he's finally realizing them.
Yeah. And
right?
I think the payoff at the end, when Raku does decide, he has his reasons, and the payoff feels earned. Whereas in Quintessential Quintuplets, the main character Fudoro chooses the girl that you would least expect. And I'm pretty sure the author did that for surprise, but it's like, what is the development behind this? They had one arc together, one arc of development, and then he chose her.
Well, in Nisekoi, granted, how long is Quintessential Quintuplets?
14 volumes.
14 volumes. Granted, Nisekoi is a solid 11 more volumes than that, but also, even before that 11 volume mark in Nisekoi, because 11 volumes, I mean, that's right before Yui gets introduced, right? So not all of our characters are introduced yet, but Raku's already had a main arc focusing on all of the girls already.
Yeah.
Right?
So, I think overall, I still have my problems with Nisekoi. I feel like some characters are stupid, like Rui and Shu. I don't care about them.
Yeah,
don't care about them.
They've got to be your side story.
Yeah. And I still feel that it is a little long in some parts. I feel like you could easily shave it down to maybe 20 volumes.
I'd say you could, if you really feel like it, you could shave down to 200 chapters.
Yeah.
Take out 30 chapters out of it. Personally, I don't want that because I like most of the stuff in Nisekoi, right? But I feel like, yes, you could remove a few things and it would be fine.
I think Love is War drags a little bit as well. Not as much, because Love is War has the advantage of being able to develop their relationship after they get together.
And that's what we were talking about again, right? There's this thing of a harem, right? Like, okay, so your girls or your guy and girl finally get together. Well, you can't really explore that too much because even if you have it, like with your other characters finally coming together, it's not really gonna work out that well because there's not really a story that can be told there.
Yeah, and one thing Quintessential Quintuplets did well is that they showed the life of the characters 5 years later. And it did a good job of showing where they were at that point. Whereas Nisekoi kind of didn't very well.
After the whole Raku and Shogi thing, we had those last 2 chapters, that last part of the second last chapter, where we sort of just go through the final school year of everybody, right? And we sort of get some character development that Onodera's let go, right? And everything's going on there. Then the final chapter leaves a lot up to mystery, right? We know how Raku's doing, how Chitoge is doing. We know very little of what the rest of the girls are doing.
Yeah.
Right?
And I feel like,
in my mind, I think that's perfectly fine. I don't care. I mean, I like the series.
Another good thing is that every character's feelings were resolved by the end.
Yes.
In Quintessential Quintuplets, they kind of weren't.
Really?
All 5 of the girls were still, like, it was really a 20-20-20-20-20 shot of who was going to get it. I mean, seriously.
Because in Nisekoi, what they did is
they weeded them out one at a time.
Exactly. Yui's out of here, right? Haru's out of here.
Yeah.
Sugumi's out of here. Marika's out of here. All right, we got Chitoge and Onodera left.
It came down to 2.
And, of course, the original 2 at the beginning of the series, because who else would it be?
And I feel like the characters in Nisekoi are a little more, they're better 3-dimensional. The characters in Quintessential Quintuplets are a little one-note, and I feel like Nisekoi develops their characters better. So, overall, I still have my problems with Nisekoi. I have a lot more problems with Quintessential Quintuplets, though.
But you think your opinion on Nisekoi has gone up?
Yes, I would say that I initially rated Nisekoi maybe around a 5 or a 6.
Yeah, 5, 6.
It was perfectly average.
Yeah, that's what you said. You said it wasn't great, but it wasn't like dog shit.
And I'll bring it up to a 7, which by technicality makes it the best harem I have read. Because Quintessential Quintuplets is probably a lot worse.
How many harems have you read? Because I've read Nisekoi and I've read We Never Learn. And I think those are probably 2 of the best ones you can read. So I think I'm done at this point.
Okay, if I talked about what harems I would read, I would probably have to censor a lot of this stuff. But in terms of like 2 that are, have plot to them, and not just plot to them.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, it's just those 2.
Yeah. So
the best romance is still Love is War, but I have my problems with Love is War as well.
Yeah.
And I think
like with most things, it's hard to write a perfect series.
yeah.
If you write a perfect series, you are truly a god among men.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be slight problems with it.
My main thing is that reading other romance manga and anime, it does so much when you have a good main character that stands out on their own.
And good supporting characters.
Because think about this. If you had quintessential quintuplets and you stripped away the girls, you would have nothing.
No.
If you had Nisekoi and you stripped away the girls, Raku's still a decent character.
Yeah, Rocket's a good character. You could go through his life of just, I don't know, saving another person at the train station or taking care of the animals.
If you had Love is War and you stripped away the main student council, the male characters still hold their own. And there's actually 2 main male characters that I think are both very good.
Yeah.
So overall, it's grown on me. And yeah, I think this is quite a positive video.
Exactly.
I just shit on QQ for 10 minutes.
I love this. All right, so I don't have anything else to say. I love this series. And next week, you should be hearing our first episode of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run episode.
Awesome.
Right? Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to finish these recordings in time. Because I will know, whenever we've been recording these, we're like, all right, we're going to start on this day exactly. About a month later, we record the first episode, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be able to do one of these month afters for Steel Ball Run too. But this is our official end of the Nisekoi stuff, so.
Yep.
No, we still got a few more extra videos, but I'm not going to spoil this.
All right.
All right, see you guys. It's Glowplasma 231 out.
Quintuplets has better waifus. Hotter waifus.
Glowplasma 231 out.